Hello, everyone. I'm Derek Miller, the chair of the Utah Economic Task Force, and we are delighted to be joined here today with Beth Holbrook, who is a trustee from the Utah Transit Authority. This is the inaugural episode of what I am calling the Task Force 10, where we spend 10 insightful minutes with business and community leaders who are sharing important information with the business community as well as the public at large on how they can stay safe and stay engaged in the economy. Beth, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me, Derek. And it's great to be the inaugural person here today.
You know, everybody knows UTA, but what they may not know is what UTA is doing in light of the coronavirus pandemic that we're all going through. So we're glad that you can join us and tell us. And let's start by asking how your customers can feel safe even in the midst of the pandemic.
Thanks. That's a great question, and it's a great concern right now, and we recognize that. And one of the key things we are wanting to make sure is that we are making everyone safe. We want to make sure that the riders are safe as well as our operators. And so what we have done from the beginning is to take steps to implement changes to create an environment that allows that to happen.
Can you share with us what are some specific actions that are being taken?
Yes. I'm going to go over some of the things that we have done because we feel that these are not only critical to our current riders, but also critical things to do moving forward. We have implemented a number of measures to make sure that we are being safe and that our riders are safe. As you might be aware, we have experienced about a 65% decrease in ridership as of today's numbers. So what we have done, we basically do every day, we do daily rail vehicle disinfecting of all hand and grab rails that are frequently touched, daily bus vehicle wipe downs. We clean the floors with disinfectant daily, and this is all vehicles, trains, as well as buses and tracks. Daily cleaning of the rail stations, as well as any facilities that are joining those. We provide our bus operators with hand sanitizer, and we also have directives that we no longer require the bus operator or our police to go through and actually touch to verify that they have riders on there. It's just a visual verification of a rider's pass. We also are supporting distancing guidelines that are directed to us from the CDC as well as the State Health Department, and that is maintaining safe social distancing. We have created, within our buses, we have moved the yellow line back 6 feet to keep the operators and riders more separate. Riders also enter from the rear of the bus. The only exception is someone who has an ADA requirement. Sure. We also have signs posted on every stop that warns of the social distancing because we recognize that social distancing isn't just for the bus itself, but it's also for our stops. And we also have created a website, rideuta.com/health, in order to make sure that everyone has the latest information.
You mentioned the decrease in ridership. That's for obvious reasons. We don't need to go into those reasons, but I'd love to hear what UTA is doing as a result of that decrease in ridership.
Thank you for asking that question. That's a great segue into what we are actually doing on Sunday, April 5th. So we have been taking steps to look at our ridership as it has been going down. And what is it that we can do that's fiscally responsible, yet still allows an essential service, which is what transit is, to operate. And so our planners have gone through and adjusted schedules in the following way. We have basically taken existing bus service, with the exception of Ski, which is already closed down. And we have basically changed the frequency. So instead of a 15-minute or anything like a 6, 8, 10-minute, all of those are now 30-minute frequencies, effective April 5th. And then for tracks, it is 30 minutes as well, again, effective April 5th. On buses, there are some other services that are less frequent as well. So if you basically take it as, if it was 15, it's now 30. If it was 30, it's now 60. That's kind of how we're doing our critical frequencies. On FrontRunner, we are changing everything to 60 minutes. We used to have what we call peak time, which was every 30 minutes, but now all of FrontRunner is going to be 60-minute service. It's basically Saturday service, and there's no service on FrontRunner on Sundays. And these are some of the immediate steps we have taken in order to do that.
And if someone has a question about their route, where can they go to find out what those changes might be?
Oh, good question. So we have our website, therideUTA.com. We also have our trip planning on that rideUTA.com website. They can also consult Google. And then we have a third-party transit app called Transit. That's a green app, and it has all of our updated information that will become effective April 5th.
Are there other ways that UTA is communicating with its customers at this time?
Yes. We are using social media to the largest extent that we can possibly do. In addition to that, so we have social media on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We're also doing some media events to coincide with General Conference that's coming up this weekend. Even though that is going to be a virtual conference right now, we are still going to make sure that people understand what our services are going to be effective April 5th.
So we know you referenced the ski service earlier. We know that's been canceled. The ski resorts have been closed. But it does make the point that some people use UTA for fun. Other people use it out of necessity. So what's happening? What can people who rely on UTA to go to the grocery store, to go to the hospital if they need to, for other necessity and essential transportation? How are you working with those people?
Again, you're asking great questions, and we know that our riders are asking these questions as well. And what we're doing to communicate with them is full force, all of the social media. You can also sign up for social media for notifications of any changes. If you have a specific route that you normally take because this is your form of transportation, then you can do one of two things. You can go online to rideuta.com, you can go to Google, and we also will have all of our changes posted on every stop that we have within our system. And that will, again, kind of the key thing to keep in mind is that the frequency is the biggest change here. And it's what was 15 minutes is now 30, and what was 30 is now 60.
Good. That exhausts all of my questions, but is there anything I didn't ask or any other additional information you want to make sure that people know?
I would love to say thank you to our operators. They have done an incredible job just coming into work and adapting to daily changes that we know that everyone else is doing that too, but they have taken extra measures because they know they deal with the public. And they have come in, they are willing to work, and they're being flexible as well. And I want to say thank you to them, and thank you to the community that supports them. They're getting a lot of compliments. So if you, socially distant, mind you, if you see an operator, tell them thank you.
I love that, and I want to add my thanks to it because I live close to downtown. I drive downtown. When I go grocery shopping, that's where I go, is downtown. And there's, for obvious reasons, the streets are almost deserted. Not quite, but I love the fact that I still see UTA buses. There's something very hopeful in that every time I see a UTA bus that's still out and about moving people around. So my thanks to them as well, and my thanks to you as well, Beth, for joining us today.
Thank you, Derek. I appreciate it.
And thanks to everyone who's joined us. I'm Derek Miller, the chair of the Utah Economic Task Force, and this is the Task Force 10.